Mute the people in the Skype call and press 2, and hello everyone! Welcome to the stream. Snowocalypse week 4. Made it to 4 weeks in without a single scheduling issue. So exciting.
That's right. I just jinxed it.
I know, right? Hello to my lovely cast members. Let's have a whip round and ask how everyone's doing, shall we? Johnny, how are you?
I'm doing well. I have literally been looking forward to this like all week. This is the highlight of my week. I like GM'd a game last night for some Dungeon World stuff, and that was like, whatever. I didn't care. This is what I live for.
Time for tanks. Tanks.
Yeah, tanks.
It's good stuff. It's good stuff. Chip, how are you doing, dear?
I'm doing very good, and I'm gonna raise the internet an alcoholic beverage.
A whole alcohol.
A whole alcohol.
Careful, Jenny. Don't get too enthusiastic and join in here.
I'm pretty excited to see what's going to happen tonight, and I'm also a little bit scared.
There will almost certainly be blood, and I'm certain
Finn hasn't been threatening us.
Yours.
It's going to
He
be
hasn't been
entertaining,
threatening us at
though.
all.
Like, it's going to be like a fucking blood battle, I reckon.
I
If I've got anything to do with it, then there will be.
Yeah, I mean, you're the person who literally shot a dude in the face to start a war.
Yeah.
Yeah. Jamie, how are you, dear?
Yeah, I'm alright. I've had a visual upgrade.
Yes.
So much in quality, but, camera quality, but yes, thank you for pointing out that I have a new look. Yeah, been alright.
It's quite good because I can see the reflection of the Skype call in your glasses as well.
Oh god, that's terrifying.
That is actually horrifying. And finally, for his, as traditional, presumably unenthusiastic greeting, hi Joe.
Hey, I have a weird sense.
Internet, apparently. I quite concur.
It's an all-time.
Indeed, yes.
Absolutely. That
An
totally came
excellent
through
point.
100% clearly. Fantastic. It's been a week. All week since we last delved into this. And yeah, everything went wrong in the last session. Would people like to give me a recap? Because I feel the chat could use it for one, and also one player didn't really hear the last hour of play, so they may want a bit of an update. It seems to be a pattern that Chip misses the last like hour to 30 minutes.
That one wasn't my fault. That was my mum's fault.
I didn't
Actually,
say it
that
was...
was
Fucking
located.
yelling at me.
Okay, so yeah, who would like to update me on what happened in the last session?
Fuck it.
Well, last time on Dragon Ball Z, we shot a guy in the head.
Oh, see.
Shit went crazy. The sheriff was killed, but not the deputy. A massive bar fight ensued. People were killed. Stein made the medic treat midnight, so Greg died.
Yep.
It was all very sad. Then they ran
Sweet
off.
Greg.
Them.
I liked him so much. He was so nice.
Rest in peace, Greg.
Rip and pepperoni.
And then we gathered our wits. Cecil turned off the air, so we, using psychic powers, summoned Cecil to us, and now have him as our hostage. And then Lux trapezed off doing her own thing.
Oh,
halfway
yeah,
through
no,
that
in
mess.
In the
Let's hear from
meantime,
Lux.
there was a guy there who I'd gone on one of Cecil's guys.
Yeah.
I'd gone on a date with, and was actually quite a nice guy. He was just in with bad crowds. I was like,
Absolutely.
you know what? I'm gonna bail him out. So when the shit went down, I saved his life. I got him out of there, and I've converted him to helping us now. And I've gone and got my tank. I'm on the upper level with my tank, and basically I just took control of an elevator by blowing all the guys up in it and impressing a crowd while I did so.
Yeah, you've effectively calmed that situation up top, and everyone's like, okay, we're going to listen to the lady with the tank.
And I was just told to take the panel. Again, to get talked through how to fix an elevator.
Yes, we're getting very much the Avengers scene between you and Stein. Why don't you give us an update on the last few things you did in the last session?
Okay, so, basically, as things were quietening down on our small underground battle scene, Stein was the first one to notice that the air supply had completely cut off. And we established that we had around about 30 minutes to evacuate about 200 people to, above ground. I notified Tudor of this, and between us, we got people moving. and our first dilemma was getting to the main shaft that was going to get as many people up to ground, service lift, as quickly as possible. And we quickly identified that if Cecil can turn off the air supply, he can quite easily shut down the power to our our exit. So we basically have Lux above ground, with the communication line open to Stein, and Stein is trying to guide Lux
into fixing this thing.
into basically fixing the panel above ground, so we can actually start moving all these people above ground. At this point, we have about 20-25 minutes to move all these people.
Yeah, and it's you and Preed at the open door into this elevator shaft.
I have at my disposal Freed, the doctor, who is helping me, and apparently I can make him do what I like. I obviously made him.
You got him to like chill out.
Pulled out a bullet from Midnight.
Oh yeah.
So
I forgot with your negative hot, you have never failed to seduce or manipulate Preed.
I know. Well, no, I'm not going to go down that route, but so that's where we kind of left off, where we've just got that cliffhanger where I'm trying to guide Lux into making things work so we can get out of.
And I think the last part was we saw Midnight, Tudor, Cecil, Margaret, and what was his name? I've forgotten the excavator's name. You're muted, dear.
Oh, shit. I know this.
Did I put him in my home front? I didn't, because I'm a terrible human being. No!
Oh, he had a... What was his name?
Why are we so bad at this? I've done so many of these shows.
That's the chat. Excavator guy who threatened to kill Reimer.
Yeah.
Oh, do
twice.
I have him?
He was twice.
Twice, yeah, that's it.
Twice.
Yeah. So
he totally didn't steal from the other Apocalypse World show.
No, I stole it from the Rules of Apocalypse World. He's one of the suggested names. Yes, so twice the excavator and Cecil held hostage. And they're going to find a secret passageway that Cecil had built in to lead them up into the back of his compound, while Midnight's still kind of recovering from a rather nasty gunshot wound to the thigh, and also being whacked out on morphine. And I think we just saw Rourke and the boys, the Cecil Sec and the remainder of Sheriff's men locking and loading up in the compound, and people starting to struggle in the airless rooms downstairs. And yeah, that's where we left off last time. Let's see how this plays out. So, we have stats to highlight, ladies and gentlemen, so if you'll all kindly open your character sheets, I shall tell you what the people have voted for you.
Oh, God.
So, Lux, the people have decided that you're okay this week, and have given you Sharp.
Yes, I love you. Chat.
Yeah. Chat apparently likes Lux.
This is you, chat.
Super Skitty Seal Kitty 5000!
Oh my god, you said it right. First try. And
I know, first fucking try, and I haven't been practicing or anything.
3 times in front of the mirror every morning.
I love you, chat. Good one.
I'll leave Stein till last, because I had to flip a coin. Tudor, you get cool.
Fuck you all.
Didn't you come into chat earlier in the week and say, give me hard, weird, or hot, anything but cool? And they were like, yes, we see. And then cool got 3 votes.
Yeah,
you were
typical.
leading with, I think it was weird and sharp earlier. And then Midnight, you get sharp. Everyone else's ones were quite spread out, but Midnight is just like 4 votes for sharp, 2 votes for hot. Basically, people like smart and sexy Midnight.
Yeah, they do.
Right. So, Stein has a 2-way tie between sharp and weird. Actually, I'm just going to give you weird, because I'm nice like that, and because I think you'll need it. So you get weird. Alright, let us whip around and do highlights from you guys then. So, who has the highest hex with Tudor?
I have +2.
I think that's the best.
+1.
+1.
Midnight, pick a stat for Tudor. He currently has cool, which allows him to act well under fire. Bear in mind you are running into horrifically dangerous area, but then again, he's also like super hot with the psychic shit. I don't think you can give him a bad stat now.
No, I can't. I think the worst one has actually been taken away. I'm gonna go for Hard.
Cool. Cool. Highlight your hard then.
Cool,
Tudor?
can rock out with my ray gun then.
It's not a ray gun. It's like a giant fuck off.
It's a ray gun, Finbar. It's a ray gun.
No, it's a full-on cowboy gun. 'Cause this guy
Ray gun.
doesn't
Ray gun.
know what a
Ray gun.
cowboy. Fine, fuck it. It's a giant fucking ray gun.
This is a universe created by the players, Finn, not entirely by the GM. And the players have said it's a
it could
motherfucking
be
ray
cool.
gun.
It could be called a ray gun. It wouldn't be what we recognise as a ray gun, but it would be called a ray
But
gun.
I'm pretty sure that
Doesn't
means-
actually fire rays, it was just made by a man called Ray.
Yeah.
Or it could be
That was Sheriff's
R-E-A
free
gun,
name.
so like King's gun.
Yeah.
See,
Okay.
that-
Who has the highest hex with midnight?
5+1.
plus 2.
That might be the highest now.
Only got one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Stein, pick a stat for midnight.
We're gonna give us sharp, so she
already
has.
has sharp.
Oh
has
damn!
So you can either go for.
Wait, so is it just sharp at the
she
moment?
currently has sharp. So
Give her hot again because she rocks it.
smart, sexy and smart. That's midnight.
It's what the chat wants.
Yeah.
I am a man of the people.
All right.
I thought that was Tudor.
Yeah,
Tudor
you're
doesn't
literally
know
the opposite of the man of the
Right.
people.
Yeah, exactly. His forces are going to get unionized.
Oh god. Thatcher.
Like that.
Lena.
I'm not sure how serious I am about that.
Not exploring that story.
I have just like as a development from last time, just to share. Stein leveled up and got the advancement of charismatic, so that is the way this might go.
So you can now seduce, manipulate with your hot,
No, with my weird.
with your weird side.
No, he can
God.
only manipulate. He
Yeah,
can't
sorry,
seduce.
you can manipulate. Yes,
Can't seduce.
That's very specific. Of brainers can get laid with their weird, and hocuses can get people to do what they want with their weird, but not the other way around at all. So Stein is still undateable, unfortunately.
Fuck you.
Sorry, man. I love you. Lux. Who has the best hex with Lux?
+1.
With who? Lux.
Yeah.
Oh, +1.
Plus 3.
Stein again. Pick a stat for Lux.
You're
She-
buffering, man. You might need to repeat that.
Pick a stat for Lux. She already has her sharp highlighted. So.
Hello.
Hello?
But, yeah.
Jamie?
You need to pick a stat for me, Jamie, for Lux.
Oh dear.
Oh,
dear.
Oh.
Oh dear.
He was gonna give me hard. It's fine.
Right, one sec.
Oh.
I make my own choices.
How dare you? Yeah,
And he's
you need
back.
to pick a stat for Lux.
Bear in mind,
Jamie.
I'm the man with the grenade launcher.
Treachery already. We're gonna give Lux. What does she have already?
She has her sharp highlighted.
She's gonna have cool.
That's not a bad one for you, to be fair, in this situation.
Yeah, fair. This is
Cool.
my next best stat, to be fair.
Yeah. Well, you're gonna be cool and sharp under fire. So you know this is
you
good.
know. Just running through bullets in a smart way.
You are welcome.
And finally, who has the best hex with Stein?
I've got 3.
1.
I think that's probably going to be Tudor then. Yanni.
Yep.
Hex with
Oh,
Stein.
sorry,
You've already got
it's-
weird, right?
This is with Stein, right?
Yeah, I've already got weird
0.
highlight.
0. Was you weird? Yes, you. I gave you weird.
And you can have cool.
Sick.
Cool. All right. It'll be fun. Okay.
Yeah.
So, I guess we'll pick back up then. Yeah, so I'll give a quick, look at, we have, on the one hand, down on floor 3, sub-basement 3, I suppose, we have Stein kind of leaning into an elevator shaft, looking up at the elevators above, trying to work that, while Preed relays things that Lux is saying from the phone. Up on the first sub-basement, we have Lux staring into a control panel with this phone pulled around the sides, with a look of utter confusion, tinged with slight amounts of despair on her face, and her uncle Arpus and Reimer just kind of standing nearby, guns at the ready. And then we have Tudor and Midnight, just walking very swiftly through the maze of buildings on the third basement towards kind of northern face of it, following Cecil being prodded along with SMGs by Margaret and Twice. Midnight having, like, limping now, but having recovered some compos mentis. And then, last of all, we cut to the big crowd kind of migrating towards the, very slowly being herded by members of the court over towards the elevators. And I think we zoom in on a few familiar faces. We see, Greg's husband, Greg, was it? Looking like, kind of looking around, confused in the crowd, looking for someone who isn't there. We have, what's his name? The jittery husband of Margaret Tangent, kind of like, you see him just like biting his thumbnail, as he like walks in the middle of a press of people, and then we have like a few cuts of like some people like staggering and just very slowly moving over towards these service elevators. And yeah, I think we'll start the action as so Cecil kind of leads you guys over to an edge of the building, of this like massive subfloor. And
I meant my fortune roll.
I don't think we need to make a fortune roll at this point, because nothing has changed between the end of the last one and this one. Like, the situation is very much in flux currently. So nothing new bad has happened, and you have access to all your old stuff, I would say. Because, yeah. We know that your cult is desperate right now.
It's worth mentioning that none of them know that the air supply's been turned off.
Yeah, a few people have worked it out, but they're limited. But it's becoming more obvious as everyone's getting lightheaded, and old people are like tumbling over and stuff like that. Yeah, so we get there, and Cecil kind of like like stops, pulls up quite sharply, and goes, "Right, well, here we are then," and like stares at this blank wall. And like gets prodded in the back by Twice, and goes like, "Well, fucking open this passage of yours then." At this point, you hear from behind you, "Your Highness!" And from these cluster of buildings runs over East Harrow, like looking like he's just pretty much legged it the entire way over here. Like stops next to you, pulls off one of the pistols looted from the bodies of sheriff's men, and goes, "I'm coming with you. No question. And I'm afraid I will not be taking a no for an answer, sir." Turns towards the rest of you, Duchesses, or Duchess, such and so on and forth. Gives all of you your correct titles, and yeah, then just moves to like covering Cecil. Do you guys say anything? Do anything, or are you two having a conversation at all?
No, that's good. Just look at him, nod, and then as soon as Cecil opens his package, we're going to gag him.
Yeah, he puts his hand like up against a panel and like pushes against it. And I think if Stein was here, he'd recognize the similar kind of mechanism of the thing in that engine. It's very high tech. The like swish as it kind of just inserts and then slides down very smoothly. And then behind it is like a matte black panel that he puts his hand against, and it's a handprint reader. And this then a much larger like doorway slides back and opens to reveal.
Which hand did he use?
Left hand.
Cool.
And this panel slides open to reveal what is basically a fire escape. So, and he kind of turns to you all and goes, "Well, I hope you've all been working out." And gestures like as if he was like a generous host welcoming you in, like half bows and waves into the room. Yeah, what do you guys do? Is this the point where you gag him and shove him forward?
Yeah, gag him, shove him forward, have him leading, I guess, in case anyone shoots at us.
Smart.
But have East Harrow close behind him so he can grab him if he runs away.
Yeah. East Harrow volunteers.
Wait, what kind of fire escape is it? Is this a ladder fire escape or like American movie style fire escape?
It's basically, it's a really cramped staircase. Like, it's not wide enough to fit more than one or two people. It's like one person at a time moving quickly, two people.
So basically, is it stairwells or ladders?
Stairwells, yeah. It's a big ass
cool.
stairwell.
That was what we're checking.
Sorry. 1 second. I just need to make sure I note down that I've just stated that it's his left hand. I'm trying to get better at taking notes so that we don't have these things where at the beginning of each session I go, "Who was that guy again?" Cool. So you guys start to make your way up. And I think while you're like running up this long flight of stairs, we cut over to I think the conversation, the back and like the split screen almost between like Stein and Lux, as Stein is yelling instructions at Lux as he while like trying to like, slowly maybe inch his way around this this console and fiddle with a couple cables within reach without walking out into the middle of this elevator shaft. Are there any like, is there any particular banter happening that we should be aware of, or is it just very business?
At this point, it's very much business only. If anything, there may be an occasional sarcastic mutter from Stein, but he has the attitude of when there's a job to do, he focuses on it.
Yeah.
So there isn't much there, especially as he's realizing quite quickly that he needs to be quite specific with Lux in instructions. So
Yeah. Yeah, Lux, how are you coping upstairs?
I think I'm just kind of like, I'm alright. Like, what's the kind of the crowd doing?
I mean, a lot of them have gathered round and are kind of. I think that from earlier, like a few of them are very.
Yeah.
You evidently get the feel when you look over that they're like. There's that thing of they all want to ask you, like, what are you doing?
What's going
What's
on?
happening?
Yeah.
Da da da. But they're all realizing. One, you have a grenade launcher that's pointed. Like I presume you
Yeah.
pointed this thing so it faces outwards.
Yeah.
And two, like. You're evidently doing something important,
Yeah.
so that they're like, okay, this lady is attempting to save our families from
Cool.
asphyxiation. We ain't gonna fuck with her right now.
Yeah, cool. So I'm possibly gonna run up and quickly jump on top of my car
Okay.
and call out like, are any of you any better at fixing shit than I am? Because this elevator don't work, and there's 200 people down there who'd like to breathe.
Yeah. Guy walks forward. I think maybe works. I don't know. Maybe he's done some like stuff of like he's kind of sub maintenance crew.
Yeah.
Of like you have Stein, and then you have a bunch of guys who
Yeah.
are like specialists, where Stein can do all of their jobs as well as
Yeah.
probably better than they can. And he was
would this
forward to-
person be someone who might have worked with Stein on projects around the town on maintenance?
Yeah.
There might be a relationship there.
Yeah, yeah, you'd almost certainly know this. If there's anyone else techie in this town, you know them. So this guy is called David, and he walks forward and is like, yeah, I can maybe give it a shot.
I'm like, cool. Stein's on the phone.
Yeah.
Do what he tells you.
Arpus is meanwhile just like has caught the phone where you just kind of threw it at him and is
Yeah.
like, and you hear Preed's voice on the other end just go, Lux? Lux? Lux! Yeah. So David like comes on the end of this phone and yeah, Preed on the other end and he goes, guy called David for you, dude. Kind of
So
like-
yes, I snatched the communicator.
Yeah.
As a Dave,
Hey, buddy.
can you hear me? Okay.
Yeah, it's a little crackly, but hey, it'll do. How we
Right.
doing down
Okay. Time is a factor. Right. You have you got the panel in front of you? The control panel for the shaft.
Absolutely. Like, yeah.
Fantastic. Right. I need you to flip that open, and I need to make sure that the fuse is active.
Yeah. I think you start going through some things. A lot of techno babble goes back and forth, and you realize,
Let's
yeah,
go.
there's essentially. I think the conclusion comes that like he can basically like undo most of it, but there's a thing of basically the power has been isolated. He could, and he goes, I can maybe get this one downstairs to like floor 2, but the shafts have been locked like below that as far as he can tell. Like he's checking through some like diagnostic thing in the side of it, and he's getting like this machine at the moment physically won't, unless he like you just cut the cables, will not go below floor 2. And I think you know at that point it's like, okay, run through some things, and you know like basically there's another control panel, probably you could, but almost no one else is either good enough or has access. Like it'd be shaft access kind of stuff. It's yeah, he could maybe get that one down with like a bit of your guidance of some you talking through some fancy stuff, and he like basically short circuits this thing and makes it go down to the next floor. But the things have been like actually physically locked, and unless you go up there and do a manual release thing, they're not going to unbudge. So
Okay.
yeah, someone needs to go into that shaft and find this manual release lever.
Right. Okay.
That sounds totally safe. Nothing can go wrong.
Everything can go wrong. He was like, boss, I don't suppose you brought your maintenance like harnesses and all that shit with you from the garage. You hear the like. I mean, you have tools. I don't think you brought like the big fuck off.
No, I've not bought like grappling hooks and shit like that. No. So I'm just thinking. I put my hand over the communicator, and I motioned to someone in the crowd from the court.
I think you can see the crowd approaching now, but still, Preed is like the only guy you have right there.
Okay. So I say to Freed, I need you to go and find Tudor. I need you to find where the others are at. I need you to, if you don't find them in the next 10 minutes, come back to this point as quickly as you can. But if you find them, pass on the message that we either need the air supply back on immediately, or we need a way that we can override the lock on the service shaft.
Yeah, I think Preed at this point goes, yeah. While you were busy in there, Tudor kind of went into... He points to like a house a little way away and goes, he went in there and then just kind of walked out with Cecil, somehow. They went off, like, he points, like, I can maybe catch up, but they've had a good 5 minutes head start. And I'll be honest, I'll level with you, Stein. I'm not exactly as fit as I was in my youth. He kind of points down, like... He's not a fat guy by any stretch of the imagination, but he is like mid-30s and works a job that mostly involves sitting or maybe standing, not like climbing around air shafts and fixing stuff. He's not the fittest guy on the planet.
Okay, right. Considering this, I say, look. We still have a sufficient amount of time to move around a little bit and still return to this point. If we can't get out of here in the fixed amount of time, we are all going to die down here. Well, I want you to get down, move past the throngs that are coming towards us. I want you to round up the back 50 lot of those people and head the direction that Tudor was going. If you can find a way out or to Tudor, that's great. If you can't, after 5-10 minutes, you back up and come back.
Yeah.
Lux at this point is going to grab the phone because she has had an idea.
Okay. Yeah.
She calls up the phone and goes, "We can't." Yeah. Look, we can't necessarily get the lift to work there, but if we can cut the cable, the lift will go down, right?
That's no good.
If you can get
there are like 4 floors lower.
No, that's not a problem. Can you get the doors open down there? Because I can keep the doors open up here. We have an air shaft.
Yeah?
This is a thing. Do it.
Okay, yeah.
We won't be able to get people up, but we can keep people breathing.
Do it. I turn to Freed and say, Freed, make that figure 100. Take half the people up towards Tudor. Again, if you can't get them, if you can't locate where Tudor's gone or find any kind of exit, you return to this point in 10 minutes.
Okay, I think, at this point he just nods and runs off to go, yeah.
Cool.
Talk to some court members, get people moving.
I say this to Lux. I say, Lux, you need to keep an eye on ground level. If you see any indication that Tudor or Midnight are above ground, or even Cecil at this point, you need to let us know.
Cool.
I think
I've sent with half of the people down here after them.
I think David at this point turns to you, Lux, and goes, I mean, we can get down a floor. We can just turn the lifts back on if we can get into Cecil's compound.
Is Cecil's floor the compound below?
Yeah.
All right, cool. All right.
And you've got 100 dudes. With
I'm
fighting fit guys up here.
I'm gonna go back up onto my ship and say, all right then, fellas. Here's what's happened. Cecil, for whatever reason, has decided he's had enough of the court, and he cut off the entire lower floors to kill us.
Yeah.
And he's caught all your people in that. Because that's how little Cecil gives a shit about you. We're going to take... They're currently dying down there. We're taking the elevator down to go and try and break into Cecil's compound. And then we're going to cut the elevator so we can get air down to those people and keep them alive.
Yeah.
If you want to join me... You're not part... Most of you aren't part of the court. You join us. We can make something out of this shithole.
Yeah, I think you get a whoop from behind you. Let's see how well your inspirational speech goes.
Manipulate.
Yeah, this is manipulate.
With the +1 because I'm on my car.
Yep.
And can I get a +1 for having inspired them earlier? With my things.
Yeah, no, that's fair. That's fair.
Cool.
This actually is quite a useful role for me. They will follow you, by the way. Like it's
cool.
actually not a question. I'm not going to use the traditional Seduce Manipulate rules here. It's a wonderful. Oh,
It's a 7. It's a 7. It's
okay.
Those +1s I got.
Yeah.
were
Very
important.
important, it seems. Okay,
Oh,
yeah.
shit.
So on a partial right. So you are now essentially you're a bad leader of a small gang. Sorry, of a large gang, I think.
Yeah.
A reasonably well armed one. So I guess putting a character sheet, this would be they
Large.
have maybe small arms, but mostly melee weapons. I think in far range, this is like a 2-arm large gang with 1 armor. In
Cool.
close range, they'd be 3-arm. Like all of them are carrying like tire irons or like blow torches. A few like big fuck off like just giant heavy weighted tools and stuff like that. So let me. I just pull because there are actually rules for how gangs interact with their leader. Basically defines their health bar.
Yeah. So I think it's something like they can probably take 2 harm.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. No, I got it. Yeah. So
I have a 2 harm, no armor gang. Right?
1 armor. These guys are actually like dressed in kind of like they've got like basically survival suits and stuff on, which I mean it's not going to do much in like big proper assault rifle fights and things like that. But yeah, a close quarters thing, it might be all right.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I think at this point, like David, like is flicking around with the other panel, and then you hear this wrenching as the cargo doors of the other elevator open. He goes, "Right, let's do this thing."
Cool. Yeah. So we lead them.
Yeah. So
down.
people start filing in. You're gonna have to like, I suppose, basically what happens here is you wheel out the McCray-mobile and like, kind of pull up to the side of it and angle one of the grenade launchers on top down, and then just start lobbing like. Yeah, I think it's. You're still standing relatively close to this like open elevator shaft sign when you hear like thump, thump of like it basically sounds like someone hitting a bell with a big fuck off hammer as these explosions hit the top of this this elevator above you because you don't have any fine cutting tools that can reach the cable, so you are just having to blow the shit out of it. And then yeah, you just hear like this screech of metal on metal, and then like it starts falling. Hits whatever the physical lock on it is, and then just like smashes through it with gravity and explosions behind it, and this like screeching mess of metal and like horrific crumpled awfulness just like flies past you. Yeah, and then I think you get the first as that like ringing noise fades in your ears. You get the first taste of fresh air. It's not great. And you are still stuck down here, by and large. Your only way out being through a horrific, awful place. But yeah, so let's cut back to the people headed to that horrific, awful place. So yeah, I think panting and wheezing, you guys arrive at the top of this staircase. Another one of these kinds of doors. Similar, like, reader are mounted on the front of it. Yeah. What do? You have Cecil gagged next to you, looking bored. Your armed men, and then this kind of door in the side of this tiny staircase on this landing.
How many people can stand in front of the door at a time?
On this little landing, well, you can stack people up on either side. Then you could maybe have one person like in like front of it, so you can get like a couple people on either side of it, kind of stacked up SWAT team style, and then
Yeah, we'll go SWAT team style
yeah,
with someone ready to grab Cecil as soon as he does his left hand thing.
yeah. Cecil kind of like just waggles his fingers and like indicates towards. He's not able to talk anymore.
So we assume the position and then we nod to him.
Yeah. Is anyone saying anything?
You assume the position, do you? Well, I didn't realize it.
Of
Got
course.
Amazing. Yeah, Midnight. Do you have any words of inspirational such and such for anyone, or?
Well, considering that nice little run up the stairs has
Oh yeah,
made
your
the
leg is just
complete last of my
horrifically-
morphine just completely drop off. I am just trying not to double over in agony and look like a dick.
Yeah.
So I'm just chilling at the back, like half focusing on what's going on and waiting.
Yeah.
I'm not entirely sure Cecil's like legit in his claims of being able to get out this way.
Oh well, I mean, this staircase is something actually I don't think even you knew about. Like that he has a personal access tunnel that goes from what it looks like the whole way up and down through Cecil Road.
Yeah.
It's pretty, yeah. Emily also very paranoid because the thing swang shut behind you. So
Yeah, Midnight's a little bit curious about the
I
truth.
think, yeah, I mean,
Right, and
Mhm.
and another thing. Before we let him go, we tie like a jacket round his legs so he can only take short steps.
okay. Well, you get the look and like the eyebrow cock of like, at least buy me dinner first, kind of thing. And then he like puts his hand against the thing. There's another like, as the green line goes down, and this door like, and slides across. And yeah, you opens up into I think the last time we saw this sort of place is I think it's almost literally the same corridor, like the back of the barracks building, for Cecil Sec. So this would be very close to where you and Rourke had your drinking evening at midnight. Yeah, and you kind of like your East Harrow followed by Twice followed by Margaret like burst into this room and like sweep. And you get like I think Margaret turns around and like, clear. Move in, sir. Yeah. So you slowly move into this like kind of cramped little corridor, and then you hear as you go in, you hear the soft as the door closes behind you. So I'm presuming those three are going in front. Is it then like Cecil, you, Midnight? Is it Cecil, Midnight, you? What's just give me an idea of walking order. Or you can begin to spread out a little more.
I definitely think Cecil should have gone in like towards the front.
Okay. You can reorganize, so if you want to put him like kind of him, and then like East Harrow and Margaret, and then like Twice and
Yeah, the people with
Midnight and the
guns
Tudor.
definitely near Cecil.
Yeah, I think you've also been handed like a normal pistol rather than your one-shot thing, Midnight. So you kind of now have this really
not
weird
just-
thing of like your antique, like pirate era one-shot pistol, and then this like basically like nowadays police issue Glock. It's quite an interesting one. Yeah. So that you guys can start proceeding around this room. And yeah, I think just as you're walking along, you hear like this squeal as an intercom turns on, and this woman's voice comes over the top, who I guess you would know, Midnight, as find her name, Ella, captain of Cecil's private security force, and I think she goes, "Ladies and gentlemen, Cecil is missing, and we've got camera feeds on the other floors showing large groups of people organised, ready to... I don't know what they're doing, but they just blew the elevator in Service Shaft 2. It looks like Service Shaft 1, they're lining up to come here. The McRae girl's tank is just getting in position. I hope you're ready and at your post, because it's going to get loud." And I think you hear the kind of, at the end of that, it's like she's excited. I think that, it's not necessarily like, you've met Ella a couple times, Midnight. And she's like, she's probably, like, she's Pakistani descent. But she's like really small, like she's shorter than, she's like maybe 5'4". And she's not like brutal like Rourke is particularly, but she takes a very strong amount of pride in her capacity to take things apart that threaten her employer, and right now her employer is Cecil, and she's fiercely loyal to like a cause when she has one. But she's also like probably of all of Cecil's sex, she might be a decent human being at the core. So, you know,
Right.
maybe she's worth appealing to, but she's also fucking terrifying in a fight. Carries like this little like sawed-off shotgun on her hip that has the name Betsy scratched into the side of it.
Of course it does, Finbar.
Yeah.
Of course it does.
Well, her and Betsy go way back. Yeah. Yeah, you hear kind of like, I think a lot of voices maybe down the other end of the corridor where the armory kind of is. People like shuffling around in there. And yeah, lots of hustle and bustle. And Cecil's kind of looking at you guys like, that's what we're up against, fuckers. Yeah. So what's the plan, people? You are in... I think you guys interrogated Cecil, and he told you, I think, that his panel is in his house. So you
We have a map, Finbar.
Is there
What's
any
this
chance that
compound
any of
like?
us have like a silence?
Is it part of your principles is to draw maps?
Yeah, but I'm really bad at drawing maps, and they make me really awkward and paranoid.
Well,
basically-
draw one, bitch.
Fine, I will start. Yeah, so basically, I'll give you a brief overview so you guys can talk while I draw a map and get distracted. But you essentially have this big compound, like walled-in compound with big fuck-off, like thick concrete walls, or probably even those stone walls from the same mansion he looted, but they've been expanded and like filled in with concrete and updated, as it were. And within this building, you've got like the kind of headquarters of the sheriff's old like security, like public security, but like offices. You've got the big ass barracks and armory of Cecil's little private army, and then you've got Cecil's mansion in the middle, and then a couple of other little support buildings for all that, like a giant toilet area and things like that. But those ones aren't red. But you're basically like, this one is right up against the north face, and then Cecil's is in the middle of this compound. Then all around that are the walls, which are currently presumably teeming with soldiers with guns. And like trained soldiers prepared for trouble in his house. Yeah, he said it was in his room, but he kind of stopped short of telling you exactly where in his room it was. Does it say on your character sheet they do? Because if not, nope. And none of your looter guns do. Yeah. Yeah, I think there's a few like melee weapons. Like East Harrow definitely has like, I think all of the cult members definitely picked up like basically tools or bits of wood and stuff. So they've all got stuff to club people with, which you guys can have just as easily picked up if you so desire. I'm not going to make you go through hoops to retcon that. But no, silencers are high tech stuff, and if you guys didn't buy them at the beginning, you don't have them, because those guns that those guys brought, they came to bully people who were supposed to be docile. They didn't really expect to have their leader shot in the back of the head. Yeah. Oh, careful in the chat. No spoilers. I mean, at a rough count, Cecil's private security is about somewhere between 50 and 60 guys. 50 or 60 guys spread out around this compound. I mean, you can give me read the situation, because this is most definitely a charged situation, if you like. 1 second. This was supposed to be I could draw while you guys talked, but no. Yeah, if you want to, or you may want Midnight to make said sharp roll, because she has, I believe, +2, and it's also highlighted for her. Roll to read a charged situation. This. No, you can just roll sharp normally. The highlight doesn't tell you anything about the roll. Okay, so you succeed partially. Would you like to try assisting, Judah? Because the assist would take it up to a full success. Okay, roll plus your HX with Midnight, and I have already managed to screw up. Everyone can only hear me. That. Oh, whoops. How the hell did I do that? My bad.
Muters all.
Somehow, yeah.
So,
Okay. Give me that 2d6
right, I'm
plus
gonna
1.
do that. So I'm just rolling 2d6
Yeah,
plus 1,
just
right?
give me an idea of how are you helping. Like, Midnight kind of consults her. She lives here, basically, so she has a sort of inner map of this place. And she kind of has probably better mundane senses than you. So what are you like kind of doing a mini psychic pulse to like scan for life signs, or what exactly
That's
is
something
Tudor
I can
doing
do.
to help?
I
Not
can do
really,
that.
but like this is a fictional thing. Like, are you basically like, I'm wondering how you're assisting. Are you like minorly opening yourself to the maelstrom just a tiny bit to like see what's going on? Are you like taking a peek out like a small window? What is Tudor doing to help?
I guess I'd sense. Let's use those spidey sensors you've given
Yeah,
me.
I mean, yeah, it's kind of the contest of mundane senses versus crazy psychic ones. So 2d6 plus 1. Seven. Okay. So, yeah, you get, I think the rest of you feel this weird little, like, tickle at the back of your spine, almost, as Tudor's, like, eyes kind of roll back in his head slightly. And yeah, you now have a full success, Midnight, so you can, I believe, ask 3 questions from the read a charge situation move in the basic moves. Yeah, it goes from ask 3 to ask 1, so...
Okay. So I can ask how many?
You can ask 3 questions.
3 questions.
What's my enemy's true position?
Your enemy's true position, I mean, they're all fucking around while you're holding this guy hostage. You could potentially...
Specifically, like, are they gonna come out and like fucking kill us and like
this
ambushes,
is...
or are they somewhere we're gonna know that they are? Is it?
Yeah, I mean, you get the idea, like, from the knowledge of, like, you know where the intercom station is at, means that, Ella must be, presumably, like, on the walls in, like, there's, like, a few specific stations where that's linked up, so she's not in this specific building. This is, like, mostly dorms and stuff. Yeah, that, like, you get the feeling that the entire guard aren't in here. These are the last few people, like, getting their stuff. Obviously Cecil is right next to you. So maybe there's, like, you get a rough image of maybe, like, there's, like, 20 guys in this building itself, and then another, like, 30 to 40 of Cecil Sec outside. But then you also do have to bear in mind that the rest of the sheriff department, as it were, are probably here too. And there's about, minus the guys they lost, another 30 of them in a building kind of across the way.
And
Yeah. Yep. It's a very obvious question to ask in that list, I think, today.
pardon?
It's a very obvious question in that list to ask.
Yeah, I know there is, but I'm saving that one till last.
Okay.
Which enemy is the biggest threat?
I mean, wherever Ella is, she's pretty fucking scary, but she'll also be flanked by, like, big, scary bodyguards. Do also bear in mind, here's a thing I should remind you of, because you have used this move. You have Hypnosis Hold over Rourke.
Mm-hmm.
So if you see him, he is physically incapable of shooting at you. By the mechanics of your move, he cannot hurt you. Indeed, he can't actively act against you, so as long as you say, I'm doing this, he's physically not allowed to, like, stop you himself.
Awesome.
He might go and, like, cow to the pressure, wait a little while, then tell someone, oh yeah, by the way, I just saw these guys. But, yeah. Rourke is kind of a bit of a useful card to have right now.
Awesome. Okay. And where's my best way in?
I think what it might be is that there might actually be a, like almost a kind of cellar area where like large supplies of like, because this place is built to withstand a siege in of itself. So they might store like kind of dried food and stuff in here, and just so that you could cross the actual compound floor without being shot at or whatever. Like, having to walk through bad juju, there might be there's probably an underground passage, I think, that leads up into the basement of Cecil's house. So if you can get your way down into the basement of this building, which it would require you to go through the canteen and stuff like that, but that's a lot less scary than going through the center of the compound while carrying the boss in handcuffs and foot cuffs. Trying to think if there's anything else I need to add to this little crappy map. Yeah, you've got a little kind of like subterranean passage. Yes, and now for the harm that has been exposed to because of your failed roll, Tudor. Is you hear is like you hear this, and just as this pulse goes out, you feel like kind of almost must be a psychically sensitive person in this thing. Like you feel him kind of like turn his head and look like you've been noticed, and yeah, I think Midnight, you just catch a thing of like, what the fuck, and then footsteps coming down the hall.
Remember, your threat list is up to us, dude.
No, no.
I assume you don't want to do that.
Yeah. Yeah, so I was just grabbing something from there. Where did I put So yeah, you've got that going on. And some people are walking down the hallway towards you. Yeah, I think on the... I think we'll cut over to away from you guys, just as voices around in the corner, and the others all like realize and like bring their guns up to like point in this corner. Things get a little tense there. We cut back to the elevator, which is just like I think Arpus hammers the button and climbs up into the passenger seat of the McCrae-mobile, slams it next to you, and just goes, "All right, well, my father did always complain we didn't do enough to bond as a family, so here we go." Yeah, and then it like judders down, and then judders to a stop, and the doors slide open, and you are confronted with the big main road up to, or main pathway between all these houses up to the front of Cecil's compound.
Great.
And I think at this point everyone like floods out into like cover.
Yeah. I'm gonna drive out and say, "All right, everyone, we're gonna hold here. We don't know if we want to fight them yet. We're gonna hold."
Okay.
And then go to they said there's a second elevator shaft. So we dropped the elevator in one shaft plus went down in another, right?
Yeah.
Because the second shaft there, I'm like, alright, cool, I've got like quickly, anyone got any rope or anything on them? We'll drop down some rope and we can pull some people up to help us.
Like, I think you get a few looks of like, the fuck would I have rope footage? I came to fight people. Like, people are holding like tire irons and like stuff like that. It's like,
I like to send people to raid like the houses.
okay.
That are, like,
yeah. I don't know whether you're really going to find an awful lot of rope lying around.
A cable.
Actually, I believe we can repurpose a move here. If I open the peripheral moves.
And
the BART moves.
Is it roll plus sharp?
No, it's when you go into holding plus marker, it's like tick the balance off switch. Yeah, so roll plus sharp. Let's
cool.
repurpose
Oh, that's
a BART
great.
move.
I like that. I'll roll plus sharp. No, I won't. Ignore that. I didn't roll.
Yeah, okay. You find literally nothing to help you down there.
Cool.
I think actually what happens is that someone walks out into the middle of the road from like, you realize he's run up like 2 houses too far, and like holds up like a cable or something. He's like pulled out of one of the houses, and then you see him collapse. Just like he's like, and just falls to the floor. And then there's like a short pause, and like someone like stands out into the road to look, and then that guy collapses like a puppet having its strings cut.
Yeah.
Just his head like rocks back, blumps the ground.
Okay, I'm like, right, everyone, back in cover.
Reimer screams, "Oh shit!" It's, I think it's, "Oh shit! Everyone, cover now!" And then like ducks into the tank itself.
Cool. Yeah.
And people scatter to the sides.
Yeah. I'm gonna quickly drive the tank to to be directly in front of like the telephone booth thing that's by the thing.
Right.
That's sort of by the elevators,
Yeah.
so that it's between me and them. And I'm gonna get elevator, and I'm gonna call Cecil's house.
I think this one only really does kind of up and down this shaft particularly.
I mean, like you'd have thought, like any underground complex is gonna have telephone system that can go throughout the whole the complex.
In a perfect world. We're not in a perfect world.
That's fair.
I think actually what we'll do right now, as we've just seen people having their medullas snapped, very Mad Max style, we will cut briefly to a break. Because I'm a dick. Yeah. I think, Stein, you kind of have just had, like, people arrive next to you and, like, the hell's going on? Like, one person, like, what the... Was that the elevator that just went past? Like, what was that fireball? And, like, you're just getting 1,000 voices bombarding you. And, yeah. We shall return very shortly with more. So, back in 5. Bye!